Hi, I'm Dr. Alex Stiles, CEO and founder of Vitriform3D, and I'd like to tell you how we're turning bottles into buildings. If you look at the impact of the built environment, the buildings that we use, just the materials alone that go into those buildings are responsible for 11% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Those building materials have to be extracted, processed into finished products, and then shipped oftentimes around the world before they make it to your job site. And if you look at the three leading sources of embodied carbon in a typical home, the first is concrete, followed by insulation, and then cladding, or your exterior panels on the outside, the siding. There's a lot of effort being put into sustainable options for concrete and insulation, but a lot less going into cladding. This despite the fact that cladding is a significant opportunity. It's one of the most expensive materials to be installed in a building project in per square foot cost. However, there are some challenges. A sustainable cladding material also has to be durable. It has to last for decades in an exterior environment. It has to be able to change based on customer preferences, and it needs to have exceptional fire resistance. And this is where glass comes in as a raw material. America does a terrible job of recycling glass. Michigan does a bit better than some other parts of the country, like where we're from in Tennessee. But in general, if you look at glass waste, it is simply too heavy, too expensive to ship, and it has too low of a scrap value for it to be economically viable in many parts of the country. If you live more than 150 miles away from one of these glass processing centers, it's cheaper to landfill. What that means is that we, as a company, can partner with cities to take that glass scrap off their hands, and in some cases get paid to take it off their hands to avoid landfill costs. We then crush that glass into a sand and then use that sand to 3D print engineered stone using a patent-pending process that we've developed. How we can use that is as fire-resistant exterior cladding. And if you compare our product to the carbon footprint of other legacy cladding materials, you're looking at around 12 times lower carbon footprint. Beyond the fact that we have a lower carbon footprint and that we can use locally available material supplies, with 3D printing, we can also achieve detailed 3D textures and an almost infinite array of design possibilities, which architects love. And we can do that without having to change or retool an entire factory. All we have to do is change the digital file. Now, if you look at our product roadmap, we're starting first by launching products that are made using more conventional means to start generating revenue, using terrazzo as our first product line. And then next year, we plan to have our 3D printed tile ready to launch commercially for interior applications. And then by 2027, we want to have that installed as exterior cladding and be launched in that market. We've already been making terrazzo and selling it as coasters, which my cat loves. And we've been selling custom-made signage out of recycled glass, as well as 3D printed artwork. In addition to that, in my hometown of Knoxville, we started a glass collection service. This is a paid service where we go around and collect glass every month from our 195 subscribers, and we've already collected and kept over 50,000 pounds of glass out of local landfills. And this is a model that we plan to expand into other regions, such as Michigan. We've primarily been funded through non-dilutive grants. This is the DOE funding that we've received over the past couple of years, as well as a more recent grant from Eagle. And we're using that grant to deploy our first tile printer here in Michigan. I want to really thank the help that we've received from NextCycle Michigan and from the Centropolis Accelerator. I'd like to thank them for that. With that, we've been able to partner with a company for deploying our printer, as well as a glass supplier, and our first customer in Michigan, as well as a partnership with Bedrock, who is a real estate developer that has over 21 million square feet of property under management. We need your help. We would like to expand further into Michigan. This means helping us with finding some of those early adopter customers who are looking to incorporate recycled materials in their building projects. Please reach out to me with this email address, and you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.